Okay, we got it on. We'll give it a high heat. Keep an eye on it here to start out, and then we got to stir it constantly. We want it to come to a boil that you can't stir out. Kind of clean as we go here. We got a spoon ready, so if I find a leaf or something in there that we don't want in our jam, there's one right there. A little dark chunk. You know, it's not very appetizing when you see a little dark chunk of something in your jam. Give it a little swirl there. We'll just take a few minutes to bring this up to a boil. We'll bring you back when it's boiling. Okay, it's starting to get close. If you stop, it's boiling, but you can stir it out, so we'll keep going until we can't stir it out anymore. Very little foam. That butter really works. That really is the trick to keep that nice and kind of silky looking. Yeah, we're getting there now. It's having a hard time. I get a little bit right there. I can't. Alright, I think we're just about there. Still leave that high heat. We don't want to scorch this, but we'll keep her stirring. Alright, we're at a full boil now. I can't stir it out, so we'll go ahead and dump this sugar in. Whole thing all at once. We don't need to mess around with it. Just get it in there. That'll cool it down off of the boil. We'll go ahead and get this all stirred in and dissolved down. It'll seems to go a little darker red color with the sugar in it. Kind of makes like a jelly. Go ahead and drop that last little dab in there. A little humid in the kitchen here, so the sugar's sticking to the bowl. So we've got all that in there. We'll just kind of stir that around. See how it's kind of shiny? So we'll keep it moving. And then we'll bring that back to a boil, good hard boil that we can't stir out. And then we'll, so we got a lump of sugar there, we'll kind of get that dissolved out. We'll go ahead and bring it back to a good boil and then let it boil for 1 minute. And then we'll put it in the bottles. So yeah, see how that's kind of, now it's a really dark red. That sugar really shines it up. Butter's still working good, no foam. That's always good. You just kind of keep things moving here. Doesn't take very long. Okay, when it gets going, I'll bring you back. Okay, we're just about ready to come to the boil. It's starting to get to where I can't stir it out. Now, it might help to turn that down just a little bit, because if that thing really gets to going, it'll grow right out of that pan. So there we go. See, we got a nice boil going. Start our timer. 1 minute. Keep it stirring. It's just not quite doubled in volume because it's really foamy. But when we get through with this last boil here, we'll set it over there on a rack and we'll let it set for a minute, and all that foam will just settle right out. And doesn't it look good? It smells great. Okay, should be coming up on our time here. And there it is. Okay, kill our heat. Move it over onto the counter. move you over there to the other side so you can see what we're doing. All right, here we go. We're on the other side of the cooking pot now. This is our setup we use. That stuff, the foam is slowly settling out of it. So I think we're going to be fine on that. I don't think we'll need to skim any off. We'll just let it set here for another couple minutes and then we'll start bottling it. So we'll bring you back and let you watch how we do that. We got our bottles in, heating up in the water. Pull them out, dump the water out. Set it here. Finish topping this one here off that we started with. So we'll bring it up. We want to have a 1/4 inch of headspace. I've had my lids on back here on a slow heat. You don't want to boil them, but you want them good and hot. If I can get my... Need one of them magnets to fish them out of there with. That tongs work okay. Wipe off our bottle here. Make sure the ring's nice and clean. Put our seal on. The ring. Hand tight. Drop it in the hot water. Okay, we got this one here is ready to go, and that baby is blazing hot. So kind of move it over here. Don't want to set it in my drippings there. Of course, it's going to get washed for 20 minutes in that hot water bath. This is something new. This is the first year I've done this with the hot water bath. I used to just same process, but instead of only boiling it a minute, I would boil it 5 minutes, and then I would put it in the bottle and put the seal on it, put it over on the counter. It was done. And that's how we did it for years. When I was a kid, we used to just pour hot wax over the top of it. That baby's warm. And paraffin wax. And you wouldn't even put a lid on it, you know. And we all lived through that, but everything I've read now says you're supposed to use this hot water bath. So I'm breaking down and I'm going to try it this year. The only advantage I can see is I'm not standing over that boiling hot jam for 5-6 minutes, splattering up on my hands and stuff, so that's a little nicer there. And we're at about 6,200 feet here in altitude. The recipe says I'm supposed to run them in this canner for 5 minutes, but since I'm over 6,001 foot, I've got to add 15 minutes onto that, so I've got to boil it for 20 minutes. So it'll be good and cooked. Make sure this top of this jar is nice and clean. Me and Brian, we kind of calculated up, and if you have your stuff all set up, all your pots and pans and things like that, that you're only about 45 minutes to make a batch of homemade jam. So that's, you can hardly drive to the grocery store fast enough in 45 minutes. And you ain't nowhere near as good as this. it's a pretty simple task, really. You know, it just takes a little bit of time, a few ingredients.
And you save a whole lot of money.
Save a whole lot of money. And in fact, you make so much jam, you got to give it away because there's no way you can go through it all. But I couldn't pass up on that strawberries. I think the last time I bought strawberries, it was 2 pounds for $5. And I thought I was getting a deal. So when this come up for 2 pounds for $3, I jumped right on it. I figure I can store that jam down in the basement for a couple of years and it'll still be good. So, you know, give it away for Christmas presents and family reunions, and you know, give it to the kids. You know, everybody likes homemade jam. And this is about the same recipe for just about any kind of fruit. You know, peaches, you know, and if you're going to do jelly, you just chop the fruit up finer, or screen out the chunks. You know, you make choke cherry syrup. You know, you juice out your fruit and then use the juice. Okay, I'm getting down to where it's getting hard dipping. We'll pour this. I don't know what it is with the recipe. This says it'd make 8 half pints, and these are pints, so I figure I should be making 4 half pints, but I've been making 5. Almost, well, not quite 5. So I'm getting quite a yield off them, but they're good berries, really good berries. Look at that, perfect on the balls. Let me get that out here a little farther, then I can pour it in a little easier. This one won't be a full bottle. Grab that white rubber scraper. Is it?
I got it over here in the sink. I washed it.
Okay. In fact, I don't even know if I'll process this one. I'll just scrape it out and put it in the fridge. Might not set up.
But you'll have strawberry syrup then.
Yep, we'll have strawberry syrup. I got a half a bottle. We can go ahead and process that. All right. A little wipe here. See, is where I got the last lids already. So that's 9 and call it 9.5 pints, and we're used just shy of 6 pounds of berries. Okay, we're gonna put that in. We've got a floater. We want about 1 inch or 2 of water, so I got this hot water. We're gonna just, I've got about a ½ inch over that now, so I'm just going to pour that hot water in there. Hopefully that one that's floating won't blow up. Okay, because the fruit's down the bottom.
Yep.
Okay, lid on. We want a good rolling boil on that. And as soon as that starts to boil, we'll start our timer, 20 minutes. I can kind of look down inside there and see what we got. If I can get, maybe I shut my light off, my overhead light. I don't know if you can pick that up or not, probably steaming up something fierce. But there you can see them little holes in the bottom. I took a tray out of a steamer and put down in there so my bottles aren't sitting right on the bottom of the pot. And that'll keep them from breaking. So there you go, now you can see that a little better. That little steamer rack in the bottom. Any kind of rack, you can even use rings off the bottles. Just throw a bunch of them in there and stack your bottles on those. So we'll get this boiling. Shouldn't take too long. It's steaming pretty good, so we'll be back. As you can see, we're at the boil. It's kind of off and on, so I'm going to let it go another minute or so and then start my timer. When we was cleaning up, I cleaned the berries out of the sink that we'd washed, and I had another whole pound in there, so I've got enough to do one more batch. So as soon as it gets close to finishing here, we'll whip out another batch and we'll time it from start to finish to see just how long it actually takes. So I think I'm going to let this, I think I'm going to set the timer on this. We'll use the oven timer here. 20 minutes, 10, 20. All right, 20 minutes. Put the lid on. We'll be back in 20 minutes. It's been 20 minutes. The alarm just went off. I turned the heat down. She's a bubbling and boiling still, but the burner's off. See, there you go. That's the last warning buzz there. We'll go ahead and give ourselves 5 minutes. We'll just let that set in the water and quit boiling. We'll get a towel set up on the counter and set them off on that towel. We'll bring you back for that. Okay, we'll move this over here onto the counter and take them bottles out and put them on the towel here. Dump the water off. You see they're really liquid because they're super hot. And as those cool down, they'll thicken up. Oh, already got one sealed. Heard it pop.
Yep, they're sealing before I'm even getting them out of the cold factor.
Heard another one.
That's that. We're done.
Okay, that's a batch. All right. We'll go ahead and do this last batch and we'll time it and see how long it takes us. All right, here we go. Last batch is done and it's in on the towel cooling. That's what we got out of 8 pounds of berries. So we'll cover them back up so they don't get a cold breeze on them. So that, and I'll show you how many berries we had left over. And that right there is what was left out of the last pound, so about 7.5 pounds of berries. But we was off on our time. It takes 1 hour and 22 minutes to go from washing the berries to putting it under the blanket. So that's still pretty short amount of time for your homemade jam. All right, till the next video, we'll see you. Bye.